This is a deserted island in the middle of the ocean, and I've officially survived on this island 500 days with the bamboo only, and in hardcore mode. I managed to turn this island into something absolutely amazing. I even built the world's first Minecraft bamboo mansion. Without further ado, here's how I survived on this island. And on the first day, I decided to find out what was there. And I found a sugarcane, clay, and a squid. This will be my best friend. His name will be Peter. In the chest, I found bamboo. And these are quite difficult conditions for survival. Besides, I'm not allowed. There's a rule that I'm not allowed to leave this island until I kill the dragon. And in order to survive, I have bamboo. I planted it, and now I have to wait. And you ask what this bamboo will do for me. In update 1.20, bamboo has been made a full kind of wood. And with it, I can make a crafting table and some basic tools. And while I was waiting for the bamboo to grow, I made a small pit for the stone. Oh, I see a turtle. His name will be Mortis. And we'll live with this Mortis for 100 days. Right, Mortis? After I met Mortis, I went to transform this island. And here I grew a bamboo that I got and planted. And now we have 2 bamboos, and the process should go twice as fast. And now we can continue to transform this island. Okay, and to expand it somewhere over there. I've run out of dirt that I need to mine. So I have something like this island. And in the evening, I made a house out of it. And I got this dome that moved to the left for some reason. I tried to fix it, but it didn't work. And this is the bamboo that I'm going to harvest, and I can make sticks out of it. But I need too much bamboo for the planks, so I decided to plant more. A zombie came out of my house, and it was time for the stick. The first mob killed in hardcore. Such a pleasure. And here's the spider I need to make string for my fishing rod. And I've already planted an almost bamboo forest. I killed some mobs at night. A lot of bamboo grew in the meantime, which I harvested. Finally, I made a crafting table. Day 2, and I have a new version of the snapshot. And now the bamboo planks are made differently. And an enderman stole a block of dirt from me. To teach him a lesson, I made a boat. Then I put him in the boat and taught him a lesson for stealing it. Nice. After I crafted an axe, I went to hunt for fish. But it was too difficult, so I mined a stone. And now I have a stone pickaxe and a stone axe. And near the island, there's a lot of kelp that I can dry and make into an eternal energy source. And finally, I found a way to make good use of my wooden tools. I just threw them in the oven. Then I hunted for fish until evening. Hunting fish this way made me feel like a real survivalist on an uninhabited island, so I decided to try bone meal on bamboo. I've been playing Minecraft for a long time, but I didn't know you could do that. And only after I ate 24 tropical fish, my health was restored to the maximum. And at night, I decided to kill mobs to get some useful loot. But since I was almost killed by a skeleton I hid in my little hole, I took my strength in my fist and went to kill the skeleton. And with the help of some crazy moves, I managed to beat him. Day 3rd, and I made myself a fishing rod. And so that I would always have food, I decided to go fishing for a very long time. It must have been half a day, and I caught only 10 fish. And so that the mobs could not get me into the dugout, I made a bamboo door. And you know, my furnaces will work around the clock, because it's an eternal energy generator, because a block of kelp can melt 20 kelp at once, and to make the block itself, you only need 9. And with each block, I'm 11 kelpies ahead. I'm a genius. Meanwhile, I went to the mine where I found my first coal, and I fought mobs all night. But this time I was smarter and used a boat to bring them there. But since there were too many skeletons and creepers spawning there, I decided to wait on the boat and fish. On the 4th day, I returned to my island and killed all the remaining mobs. But there was no grass on this island. Let's just say there's no grass. It's gone. It's all gone now. Even though I have 5 seeds and I can grow some wheat. Why not? I even planted that wheat. I have bone meal and I can grow that too. But I have 2 wheat seeds that I can't do anything with. After that, I went back to fishing. But here's what happened. Did I catch a fishing rod? On a fishing rod? But unfortunately, I can't throw 2 rods at the same time. All in all, I caught 6 salmon and 7 cod. Meanwhile, the furnaces ran out of kelp, so I went to get some. Then I went to the mine and found copper. I mined it to make a telescope, but it turned out that I also need amethyst, which I haven't found yet. I don't even know how to find it. And when I mined the second time, I found an underwater cave where I got a lot of iron. And I've got so much iron that I'm wearing iron armor, I've got iron tools, and I've got 21 ingots left. It's almost night. Let me break the torches and start fighting the mobs. With a shield and an iron axe, the mobs are too easy for me now. The next day, I dug up my island to make a new one specifically for bamboo. And now we can start making a separate island here. Somewhere around there will be a bamboo island. I'm sorry, turtles, but I'm going to take away your home. And the bamboo island is finished. In the meantime, I already have 6 furnaces that are constantly processing kelp. By the way, I don't cut the kelp to the end because it'll grow again later. And here comes the Enderman again, stealing my island. Get in the boat. Thanks for getting in, but I'll deal with you later. And now it's time to let the Enderman know that my island cannot be stolen. And another Enderman. And neither of them had eyes. I was attacked by phantoms, but now I had enough string to craft a bed and go to sleep. On the 7th day, I caught fish and expanded my wheat farm. While swimming, I found something underwater near my island, and it was some ruins with nothing on it. By the way, my bamboo forest has grown too much. I have to cut it down. The iron sword somehow ended too quickly, and I spent the whole night fighting mobs for resources. And the next day I went looking for diamonds. And at level 59, I started digging diamond tunnels. There are more diamonds at this level, just statistically speaking, so I dig here. And on the 9th day, I managed to find my first diamonds. And just a few minutes later, I found more diamonds. And these diamonds were enough for me to make a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. And at night, I got bamboo because I needed it to build my house. Well, I have the diamond pickaxe and the bucket. Let's find the obsidian. I remember there must be lava here somewhere. And here's the lava lake I'm going to fill. I've been mining obsidian for a long time. I can make an enchanted table and a portal from obsidian, but I need leather for the table. There are no cows on the island, but I need books for my enchanting table, and the only way to get leather for the books is to trade with the piglins. So I urgently need to create a portal to the nether. And while I was looking for the ground to create an artificial island with a portal, I saw a zombie villager in a cave. But after I took the boat and returned to that cave, there was no one there. That same day, I started to build this island, but the phantoms stopped me. So now I can finish. By the way, I immediately built a bridge to my island with a portal, and to make wheat grow at night, I put torches there. On the 12th day, I started to build a platform where my house will be. The bridge and the platform will be about this size, and now I have to decorate this bridge so that it doesn't look so poor. Oh, turtle, I took away the island from you. You're sad, aren't you? Go away. Come on, go for a swim. And it looks wonderful to me. And now I have to take some kind of pillars on the bottom to make it look like it's really standing on the sea. And while I was making these pillars, I saw a drowned skeleton that really wanted to kill me. Shoot me, shoot me. Ow, ow. And now we can finish the pillars. The bottom part is finished, and now I can basically demolish what I have there and move in. There'll be no house there for now, but I'll build one later. And now I can try to go to the nether. The next day I went to the nether, but I realized that I had no gold and decided to get in a cave I had recently found. There must be some gold here somewhere, and there it was, but it was only iron ore. And while exploring this cave, I managed to find some more gold ore. And on the morning of the 15th day, I was farming, and I threw all my 11 gold bars to the piglin. Since I didn't get anything useful from that piglin, I decided to look for gold in the nether. And here's my gold that I'm going to get now. And I found a blue biome, and I need a boat. I managed to make half a stack of gold. Piglins. Take it. And that's how long I wait for them to trade there. And for half a stack of gold, they only gave me 2 leathers. I'm desperate. I'm sad. I'm upset. Well, I'll have to get more gold. Oh, I found a blue biome. I have a boat. We can go there. By the way, there are a lot of blue mushrooms here, which the nether piglins are afraid of. I need them. And here I see my first Enderman. Nice. That's enough. On the 18th day, I placed blue mushrooms near the portal so that I would not be attacked by nether piglins, and I went back to the overworld. And I had to get some food because I was out of it, so I went fishing. I saw some dry kelp and I tried to eat it, and it turns out you can eat it. Really? And now it's going to be my main food because I haven't grown enough wheat yet. Finally, I don't have to catch these fish anymore, so I went to stock up on kelp. And at night, I was attacked by phantoms, so I went to bed. On the 19th day, I made a path to Bamboo Island and decorated it. I also decorated the Bamboo Island itself with a fence. We need to add more lighting there. I had just made the torches, and a spider had already spawned there. While I was putting up the torches, the spider decided to kill me, but he died from falling. I have a lot of iron, so it's time to trade with the piglins. I'll give them some gold and throw it into this pit. Go on, into the pit, good boy. And what did you trade here? 9 leathers. Okay, with that I can basically make an enchanting table, but I need to make a sugarcane farm. We'll take this sugarcane and plant it, and now we have to wait a little bit. And I waited until the evening. And how many sugarcanes grew there? Not a single one. Not a single piece of sugarcane grew. So while I'm growing sugarcane, I want to make a place for this farm because it's just lying there. So somewhere in this direction there will be a bridge and there will be a platform for a farm. And you can build that bridge right here. The platform is ready, and now I just have to add the dirt that I need to get. And just at the end of that night, the first sugarcane grew, so we can add the dirt right away. and I only had enough dirt for half of it. And finally, I finished the other half. Oh, a traveling merchant. What are you selling? You sell mangrove saplings, but I don't have any emeralds. I was so sad that I had no emeralds that I decided to kill the traveling trader and his llamas. Oh, they drop leather. I really need it. That same day, I added some decorations to this farm. In general, I like the look of these platforms with fences and pillars, and I spent most of the day plowing this dirt, and now I have to move the wheat from this farm to this farm. And here I'll have a carrot farm if I can get it from the zombies. I wanted to plant the wheat, but there were a lot of mobs on the farm. So the next day I went looking for coal. I have 16 units of coal, and now I can light this farm. And in the evening, I lit this farm and planted wheat. I also remembered to collect all the sugarcane that had grown. I tried to make an enchanting table, but I couldn't. So what did I do wrong? It took 2 diamonds and a book. Seriously? Now I need to get 1 more diamond. The next day, I found my first diamonds, but my pickaxe broke pretty fast. Also, that day I added pillars to the platform with the farm, and it's done. Now it's not just a platform in the air, but a real artificial island. I tried to trample the previous farm, but it turned out to take too much time, so I gave up on the idea. And finally, I'm going to make an enchanting table and put it somewhere here. By the way, I made myself a new bookshelf so I can put books on it, and it looks pretty cool. I like it, but it has no effect on the enchanting table. So I added regular bookshelves to this enchanting table. And on the 25th day, I finally enchanted a pickaxe for the first time. Wow, now I can immediately mine the netherrack. And this with an efficiency of 2. And I got gold in the nether, but I still decided to try my luck and enchant my pickaxe, for which I traded myself leather. I got 6 leather, and that's plus 2 bookshelves. But I didn't have enough sugarcane for the bookshelves, so I made a platform for a mob farm. I hadn't finished that platform yet, and the mobs had already spawned there, so now I can gain experience from them. I killed the last mob, and now I can finish this platform. The mob spawning platform is ready, and I hope a zombie villager will spawn there one day. On the 26th day, I saw a zombie villager and threw him into the water. I put it in a boat so it wouldn't disappear and rebuilt it. Now I have a zombie villager and I can try to heal him soon. And now I can go in search of the fortress, because I need a lot of resources from there. Meanwhile, I've destroyed this mob spawning platform because I'm going to build a normal farm. I added 2 more shelves to the enchanting table, and now I can try to enchant for luck. I enchanted 2 pickaxes, but I was lucky, and I ran out of lapis lazuli. But before I go to the fortress, I decided to get some lapis lazuli and diamonds. And these are diamonds. Come here. I also found the gold I need to trade with the piglins. Oh, and diamonds again. Wow, there are a lot of them. And wow, I already have 7 diamonds. But I didn't find any lapis lazuli, so I went to the cave. And finally, after all this time, I finally found lapis lazuli. I found enough lapis lazuli to last me the rest of my life. I decided to kill some hell pigs to see if their leather would fall off, but it didn't fall off. By the way, the wheat farm is almost fully grown. Now I can harvest the wheat and then go mine for gold in the nether. And here I see my first gold. And all day long, I've been mining gold and quartz for experience. And I have 89 gold ingots and managed to trade 34 leather. Since my sugarcane is still growing and I don't have much experience, let's start a mob farm. I'll level up the farm to 200. I'm at level 193, and I think we can start building here, but I'll make it even higher. Level 217 is the perfect place to build, and now I can build. And I'm out of resources. Let's improve the enchanting table. I made 9 bookshelves, which I added to the enchanting table. And there are 2 more bookshelves. Finally, I enchanted a pickaxe for fortune 2. And the 31st day, I went to the mine to get diamonds. And in just 10 minutes of digging, I managed to get 26 diamonds. That's very cool. And I'm all diamond. And to be enchanted, I have to make my farm. The next day, I almost finished the farm, but I ran out of deep slates, so the roof would be made of bamboo. I also expanded the bamboo island and planted bamboo there. And then suddenly, my turtle started piling up wild flecks. And I started to make a bamboo roof, but I ran out of bamboo very quickly, and there was no bamboo growing on the farm yet. So I waited until morning for the bamboo to grow, and this is how much bamboo grew that I'm going to harvest. And finally, after 36 days, I finished this farm. This is what it looks like. And by the way, I really like this farm design because there's a cobbled deep slate with bamboo, and it looks really cool and stylish. Well, let's grab the torches, and this farm is ready to go. There are a lot of mobs on this farm, and that day I also built an AFK spot for myself. The next day I got a carrot from this zombie farm, and finally this part of the farm is planted with carrots, but I only have 2 carrots. But on the mob farm, I kill a few skeletons, so I have a lot of bone meal. So I can grow all this stuff. And I can grow this whole farm. I only managed to grow half of the farm. It was the morning of the 38th day that I managed to get it all planted. I spent the whole day killing mobs and enchanting. I wanted to expand this farm even more, and I need to get a lot of deep slate. So I went to get it from the mine. I'm going to add 2 more floors to this mob farm, and I'm out of deep slate again. By the way, I managed to build 3 more floors. And on the 41st day, I made the roof out of random resources because I had neither bamboo nor deep slate. The last details and the farm is completely finished, and it's definitely necessary to add torches to the roof of this farm. let me test the farm. What? Creeper? Did you blow me up? Somehow a creeper got in there and blew up my access to the AFK spot. Wow, and I still didn't have enough scaffolding to get to the top of the AFK spot. Wow, that was a lot of experience. A lot of mobs spawning. I like this farm. On day 42, I went looking for iron to make hoppers, and this is where I saw my first iron. After returning from the mine, I connected the platform to the ocean floor, and in the meantime, I made a loot system with hoppers, and now I can release these mobs. Oh, there are a lot of you. Lit up. There's so many mobs here. Let's run away. Let's dive into the water. My mob farm is occupied, so I think if I sleep through the night, something on the farm will be saved, so I'd better go to bed. I've already restored this mob farm. It was quite a challenge, but my problem is that these chests won't open. I need to make more chests and put more hoppers on them. So I put a hopper under each chest, and a separate chest under each hopper, and now the loot is ready. It's time to kill some mobs and see how it's sorted. As I can see, the loot is falling into the chest, but it's not sorted in any way, and I'll soon run out of chests, I think. And I got a better bow from the mobs than the one I already have, and I managed to enchant my sword to looting 3. This is a pretty cool enchantment if you have a mob farm. And I also got some potatoes from the zombies, and I'm thinking of making another farm with those potatoes. And I spent the whole night on the mob farm, and the next day I enchanted all my armor. And finally, I went in search of a fortress, so I needed resources from there, and I was wondering where I could find it. In fact, where should I start looking? And when I went near the portal, I found the bastion. Well, then let's go to the bastion, because in the 1.2 update, it's necessary to loot it, because trims drop there, without which you can't upgrade your diamond armor to netherite. And there might be some nice armor trims to decorate my armor. I'm already close to the bastion, and I need to kill all the piglins here so that I can loot the chests safely. And now I can break this chest. And I'm going to break it now, and there's nothing interesting in it. Wow, there's some gold blocks here that I need to mine. Come to me, gold blocks. I'll finally get you. I hope I have enough gold blocks for all 100 days. And here are the piglins that need to be killed. There are 2 chests, and one of them is a double chest. I have to open it to see what's in this chest, and there are armor upgrades, which is cool. I can use them to make my own netherite armor. By the way, this smithing template can be duplicated, and as far as I know, if I take the diamonds I have and put a trim in the center and surround it with diamonds, then something should work. Something didn't work, and I need a netherrack. I see. Ah, good day. I've been waiting for you. Will you exchange the emeralds for me? No, it's all for the emeralds. Oh, I actually duplicated them. I think this method of duplication is better than just walking around the bastions. And I only have 3. And I need 7. And I need to go get diamonds, and then I can make myself some netherite armor. The next day, I got some experience from the experience farm, and then I got some leather from trading with piglins. I made a lot of books and went to enchanting them, hoping to get a fortune enchantment. Fortune 2, and I'm already out of books, and I only managed to get 1 book for fortune. Not bad either. I put the fortune on the pickaxe, and now I have a pickaxe with fortune. The next day, I went to the mine to mine diamonds to duplicate smithing templates, and in 1 day of mining, I managed to get 30 diamonds. And all I needed was these. Let's go to bed quickly. And the last day went very fast because I was afraid of the lightning because everything here is made of wood. And finally, I have 7 smithing templates, which will be enough for my armor and tools. Now I have to go to the mob farm because I need a lot of gunpowder. By the way, zombie villager, I'm sorry that you'll be a zombie for now. I've been farming mobs on the mob farm for a long time, and I have almost 7 stacks of gunpowder, and now I can go mine sand. But the shovel I have is just some kind of crap. I need to enchant a new one. Efficiency 3, Unbreakable 3, well, I think it won't be enough. So in the evening, I enchant a pickaxe with efficiency 5, and on the 49th day, I finally enchanted a shovel with efficiency 4, and now I need a lot of sand. And since I don't want to destroy my island, I need a boat to find a place far away from my island where I can get a lot of sand. So we get on the boat, and we go somewhere in search of sand, and I see a lot of it. It's the first time I see what I look like on this boat, and it's pretty cool. And now I got 2 stacks of TNT, and we can go down to the nether. Okay, there's a huge lava lake here. I gotta drink a fire resistance potion and jump in. And I'm at the 16th level. I can get quite a bit. Wow. And there are 3 debris at the same time. Seriously? I'll take that gift for sure. Okay, now I can set the TNT. And I can already see at least 1 debris. There's 1, and I see the second one. There's a debris here, but lava's here, and I use a fire resistance potion to get it out. And now I have 12 debris, enough for 3 netherite ingots. I don't have any gold, but I need it too. And here it is. That should be enough. Yeah, so I put in this smithing template. I put in the pickaxe here, and I need netherite. I took the netherite. First we can put that in, then the pickaxe and the netherite. And that's it. And this helmet will also be netherite. And the boots. Now I have netherite boots and a netherite helmet. I still need 2 netherite ingots for my armor. After that, I went to farm gunpowder. The next day, I gathered wheat and made half a stack of bread. Now I have to blow up this TNT. I have 8 debris now, and it'll be enough to upgrade my armor to the end. On day 53, I upgraded all my armor to netherite level. Yeah, I'm full netherite. Day 53 and I'm full netherite, and I haven't even killed a dragon yet. Yeah, I need to make a netherite sword, I think, and then everything will be perfectly fine. And I'm back to mining gunpowder at the mob farm. By the way, there's a zombie villager. I can take him with me. I'm going to close the farm for now. Now I'll kill everyone here except the zombie villager. Oh, there are 2 zombie villagers. I need to put helmets on them. Grab your helmets. And I'm going to make a platform here to put the zombie villagers in boats. But at least one of them is wearing a helmet, and that's good. Ready for a little swim? Come here, come here. No, he's dead. But there's another one. He's drowning. He's dead. Okay, then I'll keep on mining gunpowder. On the 54th day, I went back to the nether to mine netherite. Now have 6 debris, enough to enchant a sword. The netherite sword is ready. Now I can definitely go kill the blaze. But first I traded with the piglins and got a fire resistance potion. I also need food because I only have 10 pieces of bread. So I made 46 bread, and now I'm going to find the fortress. Yeah, and where could there be a fortress? Oh, the fortress. I finally found it. And there could be a blaze spawner here. By the way, this is where I found those new armor trims. Here's the blaze spawner, and I have to kill a lot of blazes. That's it. I've got 25 rods in. That's an incredible amount. Now I need to find a chest, but I haven't found it yet. Well, now I can heal the zombie villager. The brewing stand is ready, but the problem is that I don't have any golden apples, and I can't get any normal apple. And I can't leave the island. And I only have 2 ways to find an apple. Either find a mine, or find an apple in a bastion. So let's find the bastion. Wow, that looks like a bastion. And I have to kill the piglins. Okay, I've killed them all. I see 2 chests and I can open them. And in one of them, there's a golden apple and some ingots. In the other one, there's some junk. Oh, a block of iron isn't bad. I need to find another apple, and then I can heal 2 villagers and make a village out of them. And in the bastion, I found another golden apple. I can go back now and heal the villagers. The explosive weakness potion is ready, so now we throw it at the zombie and it heals him. Hello, zombie villager. And let him heal there. And while he heals, I need to make him a bed and a place to work. So he's going to be my librarian. And we're going to make a lectern for the villagers so I can get a mending enchantment to put on all my netherite tools. You're still healing. Get well soon. Let's not disturb him. While he's healing, I'll get some bamboo to make a village for them. Oh, he's healed. I got the zombie doctor achievement. Now he's cured. Well, we have our first villager, and I see you've already found your home. He'll even find a job for himself. Mending, for one. That is such a percentage. But seriously, he gives such a huge discount, and it's the first time he's given me a mending. I'm completely out of emeralds, man. I urgently need another villager, and the only way I can get one is with the help of my mob farm. And I immediately got a zombie villager on the farm, but I accidentally killed him. The next day, I found another zombie villager, but the creeper blew them all up. I throw a weakness potion and you get an apple. And while I was waiting, I took pictures with my cute zombie, whom I'll scam for emeralds. Yay, he's cured. Finally, all is well. This boat looks enough to make a cat laugh. And on day 60, he became an alchemist, and now I can sell him rotten flesh. After I got the emeralds, I traded with the librarian and got a lot of mending books. I enchanted all my things for mending. Then I gave the villagers my bed and gave them food. And pretty soon I got a 3rd villager. And here I need to add another fence to prevent the villagers from running away. So on the 63rd day, I added that fence. I moved the villagers here, and to make my village progress, I added another bed for the villagers. After that, I got a lot of gold and nether. In fact, I managed to get almost 2 stacks of gold. I needed this gold for strings to trade with the piglins, and to make a loom with which I could buy beds for emeralds. After trading with the piglins, I returned to the village. After that, I upgraded the shepherd's level, and he was finally selling beds for just 1 emerald. I immediately placed all those beds to upgrade my village. I spent the whole night killing mobs for bone meal. With the help of bone meal, I grew bamboo and cut it down because I needed a lot of wood. Now I can build a house for a villager. And we have to put some kind of roof on it. So we have a house like this. Now I have to make 5 or 6 of them. And the second house is finished, but I ran out of bamboo. On the 67th day, I built the platform for the new bamboo farm. The next day, I got the dirt and built the bamboo farm. Then I planted the bamboo. I spent the whole morning waiting for the bamboo to grow, and in the evening, I harvested it. The drowned one was caught, and I'll have less trouble with you. And the third house was ready for the villagers. On his 71st day, I built 2 more houses for the villagers. And now it's time to fight in the fortress. I throw Eye of Ender and have to go that way. This time I can swim off the island to find the stronghold, but I need obsidian to get to the end through the nether portal. And here's the obsidian I need. The next day I went looking for the stronghold. I throw an Eye of Ender and have to move on. There's a genius island generation here. It's somewhere nearby. Give me back the Eye of Ender. Thank you. There should be a fortress here somewhere. I found an apple and a smithing template. I can decorate my armor. It's great. There's a portal. Right next to the end portal, I made a portal to the nether. After that, I found my way home. Well, I had some diamonds here somewhere, and I can duplicate the smithing templates. But I only have 1 diamond. I guess I'll have to get it, but we'll deal with that later. Let's go kill the dragon. I placed the Eye of Ender, and finally I can kill the Ender dragon. The first crystal is done. The second one is done. He can't heal anymore, so now he can be killed. It was quite easy, and I took the dragon egg right away. It took us 73 days to complete the Minecraft. Now I can go to the mine to mine diamonds and duplicate smithing templates, and I managed to get 22 diamonds. After that, I got endstone to duplicate, so I can duplicate that crap. Now I have 4 of them. I need to keep 1 so I can duplicate it later. So I take a helmet and let it be gold. I put it on, but I don't show it to you yet. The chest plate will also be gold, and the pants will be green, but I'm not showing them yet. I'm going to get more diamonds to make another copy of this armor trim, but I can find more trims in End City. I'll also keep the green boots. Now I'm wearing my new armor, and this is how I look. I look like a clown. Well, okay, I like the way it looks. And now we can go in search of End City, and we go straight to the portal. Hey, I see End City right away, and with a ship. And I have so many blocks. I need to kill the shulkers, so I can make shulker boxes. Oh yeah, Elytros. And I have Elytros now. And this is me with Elytros in the new update. I went to get some more End City. I got some more Elytros. In the next End City, I managed to find some armor trims. When I got home, I redesigned my helmet. I actually like the way I look better now. I started day 76 by trading with the villagers. Now I need to make a librarian to get the Unbreakable 3. And I managed to get the Unbreakable 2, though for a whole 30 emeralds. And I went to mine bamboo to make sticks to trade with the villagers. And I only got 2 books of Unbreakable, and I need 2 more. By the way, this is the island. I like everything about it except the island is small, and a turtle somehow got into my boat. And while I was growing bamboo here, I was attacked by a drown. Did the trident fall out? No, it didn't. On the 78th day, I enchanted the Elytros and the sword with Unbreakable. This is my island, and in the center, I'll begin to build a house. It'll also be made of bamboo, but I need more bamboo, so I need to expand this bamboo farm, because when I start to build it, I won't have enough bamboo. And right here is another island of the bamboo farm. This island is finished, and I have to build another bamboo farm. And it's finished too. On the same day, I decorated the new bamboo farms and planted bamboo. That's how much bamboo we have. And now I can build a house. All day long, I've been harvesting bamboo to have enough resources to build the house. And we have such an island. And I think I'm going to take most of this island with my house. So what I need to do is make a basic foundation for this house, relative to the size of the island. The foundation is there. There will be a main entrance with an extension. Now, there will be a room like this here, and it'll be held up by columns. This is how it'll be held up. I've divided it into rooms, so let's start with the main part, and I'll make the floor first. Now I can make the first floor of this house. Now I have to make rooms and other decorations. And the first floor is finished. I can start making the second floor. The next day, I harvested bamboo because I ran out of resources to build. On the 84th day, I went to the end in search of Elytros and diamonds. I found diamonds with which I can make an axe. The damn shulkers are making it hard for me to talk. On day 86, I redesigned my netherite armor, and it now has golden lines, which I like much better than the previous green ones. In the evening, I enchanted my axe for Fortune 3 and Efficiency 4. It's a pretty good enchantment. It needs to be redone. I already redid it off camera, and as you can see, I added a little bit of relief, and it looks really better. I did the frame of the second floor. Well, it looks pretty good, so let's move on. Okay, it looks good here, but on the other side, it's too flat here. Maybe I should add another hallway here. I And I made another hallway like that because I liked this style too much. I started to make the roof of the second floor, but I quickly ran out of bamboo. Oh, I still have 2 stacks of bamboo in my shaker box. Then I finished this roof, but I need to add more glass to the mansion. There's so much mining sand on this day. I think this will definitely be enough for me. On day 88, I added glass to the mansion, and so I added the glass and the columns and finished the roof and this part at the entrance. But all I need is 1,000,000 bamboo, which I have to get from that damn farm. I already have enough bamboo. I can start building the roof. And this is what the roof looks like on day 90. I haven't finished it yet, but you can see what's coming. On day 91, I finished this house. I really like the way it looks. It looks quite big. It looks good from all angles except this one. And here it looks really cringe. So I finished it, and now it looks much better. And from the wheat farm, it looks really good. I'm proud of myself. In the evening, I started to expand the mob farm. And then an invisible wandering trader came, and I bought watermelons from him, which I'm going to plant. And let's make a separate farm for these watermelons. On the 92nd day, I almost made a watermelon farm and planted my first watermelon. While I'm waiting for the watermelons to grow, I can finish the farm. The farm is finished and there's still 1 watermelon. Even this damn one hasn't grown. What a joke. The next day I set up torches to help the watermelon grow. Well, we'll wait for the watermelon to grow. The day is almost over and there's no watermelon. I can't wait for it to grow. I made a farm like this here and there's not even one. It's a nightmare. What can I say? Let's move on. I just made a farm for nothing. So I made myself a stack and a half of TNT. I'm actually going to love the new armor design. I put the dynamite there and it's about to explode. I can see the last 2 explosions. The first and second should be around here somewhere. I have 8 debris, and now I can go home to improve my tools. The shadow and shovels are also netherite now, but I still have to trade with the villagers. I still don't have enough for an axe and a shovel. I thought mending was expensive, but they only sell for 1 emerald. So why did it take me so long to get those emeralds? And I still needed an enchantment for Unbreakable. I spent day 96 repairing my tools and armor at the experience farm. And the next day, I continued to build another floor in the mob farm. I added torches to the roof, and now I can see how this farm works. It's hard to tell if there are more mobs. There seems to be no difference. Then I made the first version of the balcony. I didn't like it, so I made the second version of the balcony. Well, it looks okay. It looks good. I also made a dock for boats near my house. On day 99, I remembered that I had turtles, so I built them their own island. I tried to transfer them to that island and breed them, but they just swam away from my island. And finally, the next day, with great difficulty, I managed to keep them on that island, and I even tried to breed them, but they wouldn't lay any eggs. I saw that I had an island in the sky, and I quickly repaired it. I managed to bring in a 3rd turtle, but they still don't breed. Okay, I think this island isn't enough for me anymore. I want to build many interesting things in this world, so I definitely need a new land to build on. And where should I build this new island? In general, it can be anywhere here, or where the portal is, and since I have some water and a small island on this side of the portal, I decided to improve that side of my island. But to build an island, I need a lot of dirt, which I have to dig up. But before I started digging, I went to the nether, found a fortress, and got nether warts that I need for the underwater breath potion. Back on the island, I made a small nether warts farm. Whoa, what is that? Wow, a dolphin jumps around. Now I can craft bottles and fill them with water. The potion is ready. By the way, I finally found a use for the pufferfish. It can be used to make water breathing potion. Bruh. Okay, so now I have night vision and water breathing, and I can start digging. Well, I've dug up all this land and I even have too much sand, so I need to replace it with dirt. And then I have to collect it on the surface and start building my island. First, I need to make an outline of the island so that I will know what I have to work with. And that's it. Let's see what happened. And I have such an island, but I still don't like something about it. Let's rebuild it. And we'll break the previous outline. Okay, and now let's see how it looks. It looks good, so I can add a small peninsula to this island. Well, I like the island itself, but I don't like the peninsula I made at all. This part is really ugly, so let's rebuild it. Well, it's better, but I need to tweak it a bit more. And now it should look good. And it looks, well, it's okay. It's not really okay, but it suits me. And now I need to circle the area where the sand will be and where the dirt will be. So let's make the sandy part of this island first, because I'm going to have to put dirt under the sand, and that complicates things a little bit. I'm going a little bit in the wrong direction, so let's change the direction to this side.
Okay, and this is the part where I've outlined where we're going to put the sand. And since we're going to have sand here, I need to build this dirt one level lower so that the sand doesn't fall down. And for that, I need the water breathing potion. Well, the outline of the beach part of this island is ready, and it all needs to be built up with sand. And first I need to build up the dirt so that the sand doesn't fall down. And all day long I put dirt. The next day I put various garbage blocks to not waste valuable dirt. But in the evening it started to rainstorm heavily with lightning, so I decided to go to bed, since my island is mostly made of wood. Day 108 and I have almost finished building the beach part of this island. And I don't know how long it'll take to build the whole island, but I have to keep building this area, because I'm sure this island will look super cool. Okay, it's done. Now I can add sand here. It's a nice little pool, by the way. I still can't get over the fact that this is just a small part of the island. I spent several days just putting dirt under the area where the sand will be. So let's finish this beach part of the island. But pretty soon I ran out of sand. And to get the sand, I need a water breathing potion. So I spent the whole evening fishing for pufferfish. The next day I dug sand with the help of water breathing effect. And finally finished this beach part of the island. The next day I added little details to make this part of the island not so flat. And this is what the sandy part of the island looks like when it's finished. And now I have to build the main part. I don't know how to build it. And before I start getting the dirt and putting it there, I have to figure out how to get the grass block there. I can do that with the help of a wandering trader who will sell me a block of grass. Or I need a silk touch enchantment. Maybe I'll have some enchanting book somewhere. Unfortunately, I don't. Oh, but I have a silk touch on the pickaxe. Cool. Okay, that's basically enough for me. I need a silk touch pickaxe. I don't know how many of these blocks of dirt I can get. Okay, these grass blocks should be enough for me, and now I can finish building this island. I add some grass, and some grass here. If I need to, I can actually make more grass. So it's not a super big problem, and I can add it, let it grow here, and while I'm building it, it'll grow 100% here. Okay, let it grow, and now I'm going to add dirt. I ran out of dirt. I used up all the dirt I had. I've built something, but not much. Okay, I need to get it. And now I have enough dirt to go on building. This time I decided to use a slightly different method of placing the blocks, and this is how it looks on day 113. As you can see, I'm filling the island with lines like this so that I can quickly build up the dirt like this. After that, I kept making lines like that until I ran out of dirt. By the way, this is what the island looks like now, and I'm at the mob farm repairing my shovel. Well, I have a full shulker box of dirt, and I also have a full inventory, so I think I can keep building. I finished the lines, and at least a quarter of this island is built. Also, I now have the method of placing blocks of dirt very quickly, so I ran out of dirt. I managed to build this much. I still have about half of it left. On day 116, I went to the mob farm to repair my shovel for the millionth time, and I spent the whole day digging for dirt. The next day, I woke up and saw lightning and went straight to bed. And finally, I can continue to build this island. And I have finally built this island. As you can see, I have only done the surface part of this island, and I need to connect it to the ocean floor to make it look more realistic. And to start with, let's start with this peninsula to understand how much dirt it'll need. And for the next 3 days, I was putting the dirt in and mining it in the ocean. Now, the 124th day, this is what I built on this peninsula. It looks cool, but I'm not even halfway to the bottom of the ocean. And this is just one peninsula, and I think I'll need all 200 days to build the bottom of this island. So I think the bottom of the rest of the island needs to be made some other way. And as for me, the best option for the island to stand on is the deep slate pillars. But first I need to get that deep slate. Okay, I have 5 stacks of deep slate. I hope it'll be enough for such a big island. I got it. It's done. Now I can go to bed. And on the 125th day, this island is finally finished. As you can see, the grass isn't fully grown yet, but it will grow. I want to expand this village and build a trade hall there so that I can finally trade profitably with the villagers. And in order to expand this village, I need bamboo. Let's get it. We can start building over there. And before I build a new island, I want to expand this one because it's too small. And now we can build the second part of the island where the trade hall will be. The platform is ready, and now we need to add a fence. The fence is ready, but first I want to destroy the house that stands in my way. And this house is about to be destroyed. Now I need to get a deep slate, because I don't have enough deep slate for the pillars. So the next day, I get a deep slate in my cave. And on day 128, I remembered about the watermelon farm, which I planted immediately. I grew them with the help of bone meal. Now I'll be able to grow watermelons right away, so I can finish this farm. Okay, and the watermelon farm is officially complete. The next day, I added pillars to the new platform, and now we can build the trade hall itself. I started by building the outline of the trade hall, but since I ran out of bamboo, I went to get some more. And after I got the bamboo, I continued to build this trade hall. I think there's something wrong with my platform. Here it's 3 blocks wide, and here it's 2 blocks wide. It's not right. I need to fix it. Done. Now I can continue to build this trade hall. Okay, now I need to place the piston and activate it somehow. I'll put a lever here and a redstone here, and it works. In the evening, I decided to change the trade hall a little bit because I decided that there would be zombies here as well. With their help, I was able to get incredible discounts from the villagers. The next day, I tried to extend the piston mechanism, but something went wrong. That's why I rebuilt this trade hall. In the evening, in the middle of this trade hall, I saw a wandering trader selling 2 saplings, which I immediately bought from him. And now I can plant and grow these trees right away. Besides bamboo, I now have other trees, and I have grown my first tree. So let's grow trees on this island. And let me decorate a little bit better. Well, it looks good in general. This trade hall is ready for zombies, but I need a leveled librarian who sells name tags. The next day, I built a path from the island to the trade hall to bring in the zombies. And at night, I brought 2 zombies to my trade hall. And on the morning of the 135th day, they disappeared. Realizing my mistake, I leveled up a librarian and bought 2 tags from him, and some spiders spawned. There are a lot of creepers, and there are 2 zombies. I have to go through all these mobs to get to them, and then we'll kill them. Okay, I have 2 zombies here. Let's call them Zombie 1. Wow, Zombie 1, you're rich! And let's get them away from here. I hear another zombie that spawned, but unfortunately, I don't need any more zombies. What's he doing? Oh, he attacked the villagers, but he drowned. Loser. After that, I locked these 2 zombies in the trade hall. And the next day, I took the first villager there. I tried to put him down to zombify him, but for some reason, the zombies ignored him. And the next day, I tried to replace the blocks with trapdoors so the zombies could reach the villager. And he finally got zombified. Now I can try to cure him. I'll throw a weakness potion and give him a golden apple. And he should cure there somehow. Well, he's cured and they can attack. No, I see they can attack not only him. And this villager is a zombie again, so this system works. And on the 138th day, I finished the trade hall in the previous system with the villager. Now I see the first trade hall victim. You will trade with me, and if I don't like your prices, you'll be beaten by zombies. I'm not sure I'm talking about a game anymore. This is more like a debt collector. Maybe every villager owes me a lot of money if they work under such conditions. The zombies, it's too early to beat them up. Get in the boat. I still need them on the workplace. So I hired the second villager. The third one is here, and the fourth one is here as well. We have a small problem with the village. I have a trading hall for 16 people, and I only have 9 villagers. That is not enough for me, so I added more beds. The next day, I broke the bridge that was used to transport the zombies, harvested carrots on the farm, and decided to let my villagers go so they could reproduce faster. I gave them many stacks of carrots. I fulfilled all the conditions for my village to grow fast. Wow, I see they're already making love. Oh, there's a baby villager. That's super cool. Because I need at least 14 villagers in total for my village not to rot. And here are baby villagers. Holy moly, a whole bunch of them. How many are there? 4 or 7? Anyway, I have to light everything. I'm finally going to build a roof for the trade hall, and I need the deep slate. I mined my mine, and now it's time to rebuild the roof for the trade hall. Well, the trade hall is now officially built, and this is what it looks like. Here's another angle. I trampled all the villagers here last night to count them, and there are definitely more than 16 of them. I'm absolutely sure. On day 142, I decided to add more beds to my village. I spent the rest of the day growing carrots. The next day, I gave all the carrots I had harvested to the villagers. I already have quite a few villagers, and I see that they need another platform for their village, so let's build at least one more. I managed to build this platform by the end of the day. The next day, I built the same platform, but in the opposite direction. Then I decorated both platforms with a fence. This is how our village looks now. And I plan to build many different houses on these 2 platforms, and I need a lot of bamboo for that. And I also need a deep slate because I like the roof with it. Well, I have the deep slate and I can build the houses for the village. There's a platform in the sky, and I forgot to put pillars on it. This needs to be fixed because platforms in the sky really piss me off. And I finished these pillars. On day 148, I went to mine the deep slate. Then I rebuilt the roof of the mansion using a deep slate as a contour. This is how the roof looks now. I don't even know what to think about replacing this bamboo contour with the deep slate. And for the next 2 days, I replaced the bamboo contour with the deep slate contour. And this is what the redesigned mansion looks like. I think it looks more solid now, but what do you think? Do you like the previous design or the current one? Let me know in the comments. On the same day, I redesigned the trade hall. On day 152, I started building a new house in the village. And the next day, I finished it. Then I started building 4 more houses at the same time, which I finished the next day. I took the beds that were outside and put them in the new houses. Now I have enough villagers in my village to start sending them to the trade hall. The first one is gone, and here comes the second, the third too, another is here, the sixth follows him well, and this is the seventh. And the last villager is ready. Then I give them their professional blocks, and the trade hall is completely finished. And I need a lot of gold apples to farm discounts from villagers, so I need to build a gold farm. And in order to build a gold farm, I need to somehow reach the bedrock roof in the nether. So let's go to the top of the nether. Now I have to find the highest place in the bedrock. I think I found such a place. And now I need to farm ender pearls and obsidian to make a portal there. Okay, I found the pearls in my chest and I need to get some obsidian. Done. I'm ready to go to the roof of the nether. I use the ladder to climb up and use the pearl. Okay, I'm on the roof of the bedrock and I'm going to start making a portal. The portal is ready, but let's get back to the overworld because I need some shulker boxes. And this portal has left me in the middle of nowhere. But there's gold here, which I need for golden apples. I'm somewhere under the ocean, so let's get out of here. We put the trapdoor here and I can swim out now. And the next day I went to get some shulker boxes. Made 2 shulker boxes, so now I can farm magma blocks. But I spent the whole day repairing my pickaxe at the mob farm. There are a lot of magma blocks here. I put all the magma blocks I had into the double chest, and now I need to get some glass and hoppers. I found the sand for the glass at the bottom of the ocean. I waited until evening for it to melt. And in one day, it melted 2.5 stacks of glass. By the evening of that day, I had more than 9 stacks ready. And to make the hoppers, I killed the golems that gave me the iron. But the iron was not hot enough, so I went to a cave to get more. And now I have 25 hoppers. I think that'll be enough. For this farm, I need to find the nether wastes biome. Here it is, and I can build here now. Right, for this gold farm, I also need turtle eggs. So, I need to take care of these turtles. Let's try to breed them. I don't know how to do it, but let's try. But I can't even give them the seagrass. Let me try to free them. And they leave this island somewhere. Maybe they're looking for a place to lay eggs. Let me follow one of the turtles. And it wants to go to this part of the island. Let me help you a little bit. Did it lay eggs? Wow. Now for the eggs. I need the silk touch. Where was that? The next day I forgot I had a silk touch pickaxe and went to the end to look for a silk touch tool. And the next day I got another silk touch pickaxe in one of the end cities. After that I got my first turtle egg, but these eggs were not enough for me, so I continued to breed turtles. And I just put an egg on the sand for it to grow up. But this turtle doesn't like something, so I completely destroyed the bamboo farm on that island. And it worked. And then I got 2 more turtle eggs. Yay! And the next day I managed to get 4 turtle eggs. And I also added sand to this island because turtles can only dig in sand. The next day I built a loot system for this gold farm. Then I placed where the mobs will fall. But I built this place a little wrong, and I had to go back to my island. By the way, the egg is not even close to growing yet. After that, I got some bamboo and made some trapdoors. The next day, I started to build this gold farm. As you can see, the base is finished, and now I have to move 20 blocks in each direction and connect them, and then the first level will be ready. As you can see, I finished the first level. There are a lot of zombie piglins, and I almost ran out of magma blocks. I don't know, I probably used 2 chests of magma blocks, and I wanted to make 3 levels, so let's go back and get some more magma blocks. I've already started to build the second floor, and I'm attacked by Ghast. I don't have any arrows, so let's attack him with a sword like an Attack on Titan. And on the 175th day, I finished the second floor of the gold farm. I started to build a 3rd floor, but I ran out of magma blocks. Still, the 3rd floor was almost finished, and I had started to build a glass part so that the ghasts wouldn't spawn here, but even this glass was not enough for me. The next day, I repaired my pickaxe at the mob farm, and on day 178, I melted sand into glass. Then I went to mine magma blocks and finished the gold farm. I built a platform upstairs where I'll stand AFK while mobs are farming. I added turtle eggs to make the zombie piglins aggro, but for some reason it didn't work. But after raising the eggs more than a block higher, they started aggro. And now the farm is working and they're falling, which is good. Let's see what's going on with the loot. We have loot and the gold farm is officially up and running. After that, I decided to test how much gold I could get from this farm and waited 10 minutes on the AFK spot. And during this time, I managed to get 2 stacks and 1 gold ingot. This means that in 1 hour, I could get 24 stacks of gold, or 770 gold ingots per hour, which I think is not too bad. bad. And this is what the gold farm looks like. So far, there are 3 levels. There may be more in the future, so there's room for growth. And now I have just enough gold apples to zombify the villagers and heal them. I planted the rest of the eggs on the sand. For some reason, I don't think they'll grow like my eggs have been growing for 10 days. But let them grow there, and maybe someday new turtles will appear. The next step is to get the apples themselves. And to get them, I have to level the villager to the 2nd level. And one day, there will be an apple there. But so far, I'm out of luck, and he sells me a pumpkin pie. And finally, the next day, I managed to get an apple from a damn villager, and I bought them all at once. And now I have to make a lot of weakness potion. Unfortunately, I don't have enough ingredients for the weakness potion. I still need spider eyes and mushrooms. Well, I can find the mushrooms somewhere here in Nether, and here they are. And there are quite a few of them, so that should be enough for me. After that, I waited for the night for the spiders to start spawning. And at night, I farmed some mobs. The next day, I brewed potions on the 3 brewing stand. And the next day, I already have 47 potions of weakness. And I hope it's enough. Now I can set those zombies free. By the way, I had a zombie that can be healed immediately. And now I'm going to heal him. Then I started throwing them all into the zombies and infecting them. But for some reason, the zombies didn't want to zombify the villagers. And eventually, it went well. We picked up our librarian and healed him. And even managed to heal 2 of them. And the archer is healed, and now he sells emeralds for only 19 sticks. But I want a much bigger discount, so let him zombify more. Oh, and now the librarian sells a bookshelf for 1 emerald, from which I can take 3 or 4 books at a time and sell him 4 books for 4 emeralds, which is already profitable. By the way, I can bargain with them forever now. I continued to infect and heal them until the evening. The next day, I had problems giving professions to villagers in the trade hall, because I have a lot of villagers who take professions. And I solved this problem by closing access to the trade hall from the main village. And I punished all the villagers who stayed in the trade hall. My Fletcher now sells 1 emerald per string, which I quickly took advantage of. Also, I have now made a separate shulker box into which I throw emeralds to make an emerald beacon in the future. And the next day, the Fletcher was selling emeralds for 6 sticks. Just so you know, before the discounts, he was selling me an emerald for as much as 32 sticks, and I get an 85% discount. I don't know, it's a lot. Now I get 10 emeralds for a stack of sticks. By the way, a very interesting report about the turtle eggs. They are not growing. As you can see, there are 4 of them, and at the end of the day, I already had 2 stacks of emeralds. On the 187th day, I changed the villagers' professions to more profitable ones and made even bigger discounts. And on the 188th day, an archer sells 1 emerald for only 1 stick. I did it! This is a complete scam for emeralds. On the same day, I decided to plant potatoes on my first farm that I tried to trample in the last video. I had a zombie villager here, but he disappeared. Seriously. So now I have to name tag the villagers. We can buy tags from the librarian. By the end of the day, I had all the villagers tagged so they wouldn't despawn again. I have another villager who was just floating in the middle of the ocean, floating somewhere. Well, good luck to him. On day 189, I traded everything I had with the villagers. Day 190 went the same way, and now I have 74 emerald blocks. I still have about half to go to make a complete beacon. I spent the next 2 days trading with the villagers. And now I have 2 stacks of emerald blocks, and I think I can start building this beacon. And this beacon will be built in this direction, on a separate platform that I'll build now. And now we can build the beacon itself. And I was seriously short of emerald blocks. It took me until the 195th day to complete the pyramid for beacon, and now I have to get the beacon itself. But first I added the usual design to this platform. Then I went to the Nether in search of the fortress. And here's the fortress. And here's the first wither skull. After killing a few dozen wither skeletons, I managed to get the second wither skull. And here's the 3rd skull. Seriously, finally. I've been farming here for almost an hour. Now it's time to create and kill the wither, but I won't create it on the island. I'll go to my mine and spawn it there. Let's spawn it here, and let's fight. Killed it, and we set up the beacon. Finally, we have it. Let the speed buff be the 2nd level. I'm very fast now. I need to set up another beacon so I can run around the island quickly. The next day, I gave a lot of carrots to the villagers who stayed in my village. I didn't have many left after the last incident. I punished all the villagers who stayed in the trade hall. I stepped away for a minute to make some bread, and there are so many kids here already, they're probably looking for Mortis to play Brawl Stars with. Let's feed them. Then I went back to Mortis, and he laid eggs again. On day 200, I built a sugarcane farm because the previous one was not enough for me. I even managed to plant some sugarcane. Day 201, and I want to finish this sugarcane farm. And how many sugar canes have grown here? 0. Not a single cane has grown yet. In the meantime, I can get more bamboo to expand my village. I also need sand for my village. And then I can build. And how's the sugarcane? Well, some has grown. I think it can be planted. I just need a little more sugarcane. On the same day, I built another house for the village. On day 204, I harvested bamboo again because the next house would take a lot of resources. This is where we're going to have this big house, and it will be a corner house. Somewhere around this size. The frame of this house is ready. We just need to add walls and a roof. I didn't have enough bamboo. The house itself is ready. I just have to add the roof. I've drawn the outline of the roof, and this is how it will look. I have a wandering trader that spawned here. And what are you selling? I see a birch tree, which I bought from him, as well as pumpkin seeds. Then I spent the whole day building the roof. I seem to have made a mistake somewhere. This roof doesn't fit together. Look at the way it came off. We have to rebuild this roof right away. And now it looks really good. I like it. On day 204, I finally planted the sugarcane farm to the end, and I finished the roof. Are there really no pillars on one of my islands? That needs to be fixed, so I went to get some deep slate. On day 209, I built the pillars for this island. It's been a day now, and there's no progress on the eggs. And there is nothing on them either. I don't know when they will grow. Well, let's get some bamboo, because I need to build a new island for the pumpkin seeds. And I will build this island somewhere to the right of the watermelons. And I'm out of dirt. And to get more dirt, I need to catch a pufferfish for the water-breathing potion. And now I can see the dirt. And with this dirt, I can complete the farm. And the next day, I decided to sort the shulker boxes. On day 213, I watered the future pumpkin farm. Then I planted the pumpkins. For decoration, I added a fence to this island, and I lit it so mobs wouldn't spawn here. And now I've grown all the pumpkins, and we're going to plant this farm bit by bit. The next day, I bought beds from a villager and put them in their new homes. I also got some carrots from the farm and gave them to the villagers to breed. I think the process went very well. After that, I harvested wheat until the end of the day. The next day, I decided to give some bread to the villagers. And we grew our first pumpkin. By the way, why am I the only one who feeds the villagers? They can work for me here, so let's build a mini garden here where the villagers can work. I'll also put 2 composters here so they can have a profession. And I have a lot of wheat seeds, so wheat will grow here. And I have finally started to get people to move in. Oh, I see they found their profession right away. And now we have 2 farmers. I hope they can feed this village on their own. After that, I went to add pillars to the pumpkin farm. And now we have almost a row of pumpkin patches. I don't like the way my gold farm works, so I want to change it. And I want to rebuild it because not all the mobs are farming here. Well, let's rebuild it. Okay, I've changed the design of this farm, and now I need to get all the glass because I'm going to upgrade the farm. Great, my Silk Touch pickaxe is almost broken. I need to enchant it and repair it. So I immediately bought a mending enchantment, and we can repair the pickaxe at the mob farm. By the way, I can also buy a few unbreaking enchantments from the librarian. And now my pickaxe is super cool enchanted. Let's go get that glass. Now we can build more layers to this farm. Finally, I have rebuilt this gold farm, and now we can go back to our island. I want to build an automatic bamboo farm somewhere in this place on a huge island, because on the bamboo farm I have to do everything manually. And for that, I need to get iron, and before that, I need to make torches. So I cut down the trees and melted them into coal, and I spent the whole 223 days mining coal and iron. By the way, the eggs still haven't grown, and I spent the whole day melting iron. The next day, I got some bamboo and started to build a bamboo farm, but I still hadn't decided what to do with this farm, so I redesigned it several times. On day 226, I went to get some deep slate because it'll be the walls of my farm. By the way, I can make an ender chest to put the shulker boxes in, and with this ender chest, I'll have a huge inventory, and this ender chest fits very nicely into my inventory instead of many shulker boxes. Since I was almost out of food, I got some carrots and gold from the piglin farm. After that, I made a golden carrot. The next day, I started to build a bamboo farm by adding glass panels, and during that day, I managed to build this, and I still need to add pistons to push out the bamboo, as well as observers that will respond to the growth of the bamboo itself. And for that, I need to get some quartz. So so let's keep building. But I don't have enough quartz for this farm. Okay, I can finish this farm. I built a mechanism to detect this bamboo, and for some reason, there was no signal. But what if I put a redstone here? So we put the block in, and there's still no signal. Maybe I turned it the wrong way, and now it seems to work. Well, it seems to be working. I don't really understand. Okay, I'm going to move these two observers as well. I added a repeater to the signal, and let's check again. So the signal is still being sent, and now we need to get that signal to the future pistons. I decided to use an ingenious scheme with torches, but for some reason, it doesn't work. So I decided to use a ladder to transmit the redstone signal, and that is the system we have. The next day, I started to build the mechanism up to the pistons. By the way, I have a wandering trader here. What do you sell here? Oh, acacia! I'll buy it from you. We'll deliver it right away. When I add a signal, the bamboo collides. All is well. Now we can add the pistons. Llama, go away. I'll put the pistons here. He's still spitting at me. Come here. That's what you deserve. On day 232, I've been building the mechanism of this farm. I finished this mechanism, and let's test how it works. I mean, I put a block of bamboo there, and I hear a lot of sound, and here we have, not everything worked. I changed the mechanism a little bit, and this time almost all of the bamboo was pushed together, and that's good. I just need to change the mechanism a little bit more. That's it. The mechanism worked, and now we can finally build it here. Let me briefly explain how the system of this farm works. There are observers here, and when the bamboo grows up to them, these pistons push the bamboo down, and so on in a circle. And now we're building. Done. The main part of this car farm is done, and I need to make a loot room, which will collect all the bamboo in my box. But this room has to be built underwater, so I need to catch a pufferfish. Oh, a fugu. I managed to catch it quite quickly. Let's finally build it. Yes, I finally dried this platform. The next day I added the hoppers and added the rails with the minecart. And this system still works. The cart goes back and forth. Then I added chests to this loot system. I grew bamboo to see how it worked. Because I put in glass panels, the bamboo didn't grow all the way to the end. So I went to get sand to make new glass. And while the glass was melting, I started to build the same farm, but in the other direction. The next day I broke the glass panels. I replaced them with normal glass. Then let's test if all the bamboo will gather there. Yes, it fell, and then the bamboo disappeared. As far as I can see, the minecart is working very well, and the bamboo is already being sorted in the warehouse. It's really great, and the first part of the automatic bamboo farm is almost finished, and I went to get more sand to make more glass. On day 239, I started building the other side of the auto farm. On day 240, I added a wall of deep slate. I just have to add the redstone mechanism, and it will be done in a second. And the mechanism is completely finished. Then I started to expand the underwater room. I really didn't have enough deep slate for this room, so I'll get it here. I have 5 stacks of deep slate, and now I can continue to build the room. The room itself is finished, but now it needs to be dried. Even my netherite pickaxe almost broke. It's a good thing I have a cool mob farm where I can quickly repair my axe. And on the 246th day, I finally dried this room completely. On day 247, I connected 2 storage rooms, and this villager is still trying to go somewhere. Well, let's not bother him then. Oh, a horse was struck by lightning here. What? The sky was clear here. Well, let's try to kill them there. Oh, and now we have a lot of horse skeletons here. There are 2 horses, and I want to give them name tags so that they don't disappear. And in order to buy a tag, I need to trade quickly with the villagers. So I'll buy a tag from this librarian, take the name tag, and now I need to build it up. And I kind of built it up. After that, I redesigned the loot system by connecting the minecart to another part of the farm. And the bamboo was added to the chest. Yay! And this automatic bamboo farm is now completely ready. Well, I found a saddle in my chest that I could put on this horse. And I'm on the horse. And by the way, how did it get here in the first place? There were no horses on my island, so this skeleton horse just appeared? Well, if it appeared, I'll probably tie it to this fence. On day 250, I went to kill shulkers to get a lot of shulker boxes, and now I have 13 shulker boxes in my ender chest. After that, I planted grass and cut trees in this huge island, and the next day, I planted trees again, but this time I divided them into zones. Then I spent the whole day trading with the villagers, because I want to buy another beacon. And day 253, I continued trading with the villagers, and the next next day, I expanded the netherwarts farm because I can trade with the alchemists. I didn't have enough growth to plant the whole farm, so I went in search of the fortress and the netherwarts in Nether. When I found the fortress itself, I did not find the netherwarts. So the next day, I went to get iron to make an auto furnace. I'm really pissed off that there are a lot of mobs there. I need to light up the island. But first, I want to melt down the iron for the auto furnace. On day 257, I started making room for the auto furnace and started building the auto furnace itself. Day 258, I went back out to get more iron since I didn't have enough for the hoppers. And this villager is still there. By the way, let me try to save him. And then I'll throw him into the boat and take him to the island. And this villager immediately went to the village. On day 260, I finished the auto furnace. And the mine carts go back and forth. Now all we have to do is cosmetically finish this auto furnace. Then we will put the lever here, and when I push it, the minecart will stop and go. And with this auto furnace, I'll be able to melt all the resources I need. On the 261st day, I mined wood and other resources. The next day, I mined obsidian. And now I can build a new portal to the Nether. The portal is ready, and this is what it looks like. And since I have a new portal ready, I can break the old one. After that, I collected the nether warts and planted them. I think I can light up my island, so let's get a beacon. And now this island can be illuminated. Oh, I'm being attacked by pillagers. Can I really start my first raid? I have an achievement for killing a pillager with a banner and a bad omen. But before I raid, I'm going to repair my bow. And the raid begins. Well, finally, I can get my first totems. And here I see them coming from the direction of my house. And I have dealt with the first wave. The second wave is coming from my estate again. I hope that the third wave will be more difficult because the previous two waves were too easy. And the third wave was also very easy. And there are only 2 pillagers left. This is the one to hit, and there's only one left. And I can even finish him off with my sword. But there's still many waves of these pillagers left. And I'm out of arrows and my bow is almost broken. Oh, and in this wave there are mobs dropping totems. I killed one of them and finally got my first totem. I'm done with this wave. There are a few more. Seriously, they all spawned on my netherwarts farm? I finally killed all those mobs, and now I am the hero of the village. After that, I continued to light up the island. And on the 269th day, I lit this island to the end. After that, I decided to expand this netherwarts farm a bit more. From day 270 to 275, I traded with the villagers to get enough emerald blocks to build a beacon. Then, on day 276, I built the base of the beacon. In the evening, I automated the mob farm with campfires. Immediately, a skeleton fell in and died. Okay, and for myself, I made an AFK spot on top so that more mobs would spawn on the mob farm. On day 277, I went into hell to farm the heads of the wither skeletons. Here I see the fortress. By the way, there's the first wither skeleton. Well, let's farm it then. I returned to my island and spawned a wither. I killed it quite easily, and at night I placed this beacon on the pyramid, but I took a buff for second level speed. The next day I gathered resources to expand my mob farm, and on day 282 I built another floor on that farm. On day 283 I harvested bamboo again because I didn't have enough resources, and the next day I mined stones for the walls of the farm itself. And the next 2 days I built 2 more layers of this farm, but again I didn't have enough bamboo. And on the 288th day I finished the farm. On day 289 I cut down trees. And on day 290, I decided to do a very important thing, which was to sort the shulker boxes. On day 291, I collected more resources to build an iron farm. I collected all the resources from day 292 to day 297 to build the iron farm. Now I need to add zombies to the farm. I waited for the night to do this. Then I turned off some of the lights on the island so that the zombies could spawn here. And here are 2 zombies, by the way. And I gave them some name tags. After I brought them to the farm, I closed these zombies. The next day, I built a railroad to the farm to move the villagers there. there. And that day, I managed to move about 4 villagers. The next day, I moved all the villagers I needed to this iron farm. Well, on the 300th day, golems should be spawning on this farm. And there's already a golem spawning. I temporarily covered the zombie with glass and gave carrots to the villagers to breed here. And the first baby has already appeared. This is good, because I was really lazy to drag everyone here. And after that, I waited exactly 10 minutes to check how much iron is being farmed on this farm. And here are 43 iron ingots. In 10 minutes of farming, considering it's fully AFK, this is very good. Day 301, and I want to do something cool. Actually, I want to bring a chicken on this island. But before that, I started gathering resources for the chicken farm. Okay, the resources are ready and I can start building. The farm is ready. All that's left is to add the chicken itself. And I can only get chicken on this island from the mob farm, because sometimes mini zombies can spawn on a chicken, and I have to wait until they do. But the percentage that such a mini zombie will spawn is very small, and I think it will take a very long time. Do we have a mini zombie with the chicken here? And once again, the creeper blew it up. You've got to be kidding me. I hope it doesn't blow up again. And there's a mini zombie, but it doesn't have a chicken. There's no zombie on a chicken at all. I'd better rebuild this farm a bit. And now we can go back to getting the chicken. And finally, this zombie is on the chicken, so I have to kill all the other mobs. And carefully kill this mini zombie. Then I'll put the chicken in the boat and give it a name tag. On day 310, I took the chicken to the chicken farm I had built. While I was trying to automate the mob farm again, a creeper exploded and I had a complete nightmare. Like, everything blew up. Another creeper, are you serious? Okay, so let's rebuild it somehow. And I managed to somehow automate and rebuild this farm. On day 311, I harvested bamboo again. The next day, I started to build a new island for the nether warts and potatoes. On day 313, I added soul sand and dirt. Then I tore down the previous nether warts farm and planted it on the new one. On day 314, I finished the nether warts farm. The next day, I harvested all the potatoes and dismantled the previous potato farm. The next day, I planted the potatoes. Then I added some decorations to this island. And from day 317 to 325, I built a house near the shore where the villagers will work and where it will decorate the appearance of this huge island of mine. The next day I ran out of wood, so I went to get some. By the way, what happened to our chicken? There are no eggs in the chest, and as far as I can see, this chicken is not going to do anything either. Well, I'll just have to find another chicken at the mob farm. Let's just keep farming mobs until I find another chicken. Last time it took me many days to find that chicken. I hope it will be a little faster this time. And finally, here's the mini zombie on the chicken, which I took to the chicken house last night and bred them. Hopefully, I will finally get some eggs from this farm. I want to build a dock near this house on the beach. But I ran out of sand, so I went to get some. On day 329, I built another part of the dock for the boats and increased the area of the shore for this island. On day 330, I laid rails to the fisherman's house. The next day, I took some of the villagers there, and they have already become fishermen. By the way, what about my chicken farm? Wow, we have 5 eggs here, and it's already a big farm. And I want to build a new bamboo farm that will be much more efficient than the previous one, so I need to gather all the resources for that. Well, that's how many resources I managed to get in 2 days, but I still need to get the slime and the gold. By the way, this chicken coop is growing quite nicely. And on day 334, I went in search of a swamp to get some slime. And yes, this time I had to leave the island for the slime balls. Okay, I'm in the swamp, and I have to wait for night. Hello, sheep. I wish I could take you with me to my island. You would have made such a cool animal. And there are 2 of you here. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, there's also a black sheep. But I live on an island where there's almost nothing. It's nighttime, and now the slime will start spawning in the swamp. But right now, all I see are zombies. Oh, the first slime, finally. I can get the slime balls now. And overnight, I managed to get 3 slime blocks. This is not enough. The next night, I continued to farm slimes. On the next day, I was AFK on the gold farm to get enough resources for the future bamboo farm. On day 338, I cleared the area under the bamboo farm of water. The next day, I continued to drain the water. Since I was always running out of air underwater, I've made myself a water-breathing potion. And for the next 2 days, I dried the area under the bamboo farm. Because there will be a minecart to collect bamboo, and there will also be a bamboo warehouse. On day 342, I built the platform for the minecart and put put in the rails. By the way, how many eggs do we have in the henhouse chest? Wow, there are almost 3 stacks. I used all those eggs in the chicken coop, and now I have a lot of chickens. The next day, I placed all the rails and finished the whole mechanism with the minecart. On day 344, I added chests and hoppers to the warehouse. Then I started planting bamboo in the area of this bamboo farm. The next day, I finished planting the bamboo, and I started to make a mechanism to cut the bamboo. On the 346th day, I finished the mechanism and started it, but something went wrong and the mechanism stopped working. Then I redesigned it. Now let's start it and see how it works. And the mechanism worked and it went the other way. That's very good. Now I just need to add some walls to this auto farm. I didn't have enough glass, so let's go get some sand. I had to melt all this sand, and during this whole day I managed to melt 5.5 stacks of glass. The next day I went to the chicken farm and used up all the eggs. Then I continued to make a glass wall for this auto bamboo farm, and it's time to see how this loot system works. As I can see, the minecart is moving, which means it has to collect everything in a chest. And as I can see, there's already bamboo in the chest. So this bamboo farm is officially finished, but something seems to have gone wrong. This mechanism should definitely work differently, and I spent the whole day reworking this mechanism to make it work properly. Okay, and it finally worked. This is super cool because I now have an endless supply of bamboo. On day 352, I made a roof for this bamboo auto farm. The next day, I expanded the warehouse because I didn't have all my bamboo. Well, my chicken house is huge. A chicken even jumped over there. At the iron farm, I already have a whole chest of iron. Let's use this iron to make a pyramid for the beacon. And the pyramid for the beacon is finished, but I still have 2.5 stacks of iron. I built a really impressive iron farm. And then I spent the rest of the evening making iron golems to protect me. For some reason, the golems on the iron farm stopped spawning. I think I broke this farm. Besides, I still need a beacon, so let's go to the fortress. By the way, there's a wandering trader here, and he doesn't sell anything interesting. And now I have to kill the wither skeletons. And here comes the first one with the head drops. Only 2 more to go. And now I can spawn Wither itself. Oh, that was pretty easy. And the next day, I built another beacon. After that, I went to the Nether to get the red biome, the Crimson Forest, as this biome is called, because I want to make a separate island with this Nether biome. On day 358, I started to build this biome, but I didn't have enough netherrack blocks. The next day, I finished the island, and with the help of bone meal, I turned a normal netherrack into a crimson one. I also grew crimson trees. And this is what my island looks like. I would say there's a whole network of islands here. On day 360, I got a block of blue nether biome the same way. After that, I started to build this island, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough blocks again. Back in the Nether, I got these blocks again. After that, I finished this biome. It's called some kind of warped forest, but I don't really like that name, so for me, this biome is just a blue biome. Then I decorated the island with trees and grass. I really like this biome. And now it's time to collect bamboo from this auto farm. It's so cool how it breaks everything here. On the same day, I killed a lot of golems I created so that the iron farm would start working. The next day, I improved the looting system on the bamboo farm by adding hoppers. By the way, I forgot about the turtles, and I see they've all grown here. That's great. And now I have a lot of turtles. I don't know how long they grew here, but it was a long time. After that, I went to get some bamboo because I didn't have enough bamboo from the bamboo farm. And with the help of this bamboo, I expanded the grid of islands for the villagers. The next day, I ran out of bamboo, so I went to get some. Then I built 3 more islands for the villagers to make the whole village look symmetrical. On day 371, I put torches on the new island so the evil mobs wouldn't spawn there. After that, I went to get some deep slate because I'll use it to make columns for the new islands. I spent the next 2 days building these pillars for the new islands. On day 374, I went AFK on a bamboo farm, and in 10 minutes, this farm gave me 11.5 stacks of bamboo. Of course, I get a little more from a regular farm, but this can be done while fully AFK. I spent the next day repairing my tools. By the way, I can add another type of animal to this island, namely bees. But for that, I need to get a birch sapling. To get the bees, I have to grow the sapling near a flower. I didn't succeed this time, but with a small percentage of success, a beehive will spawn. Finally, I managed to get the birch tree to spawn with bees. I immediately bred the bees and began to grow more birch trees. The next day, another beehive spawned, and I immediately bred the bees to make more. Wow, there's so many of them here. Wow. By the way, I managed to make a 3rd beehive, and now I can truly say that I have restored the bee population. On day 378, I collected bamboo to build new houses for the villagers. On day 379, I built the first house for the villagers, then I built another one, but I changed the style of this one a little bit. And the next day, I built some crap on the island. I don't know exactly what it is, but it will be some place where the villagers will do something, maybe something important. And this is what it looks like, and I've even added some lighting to it. On day 381, I built another house for the villagers, and this is what the village looks like. I still haven't built anything on these 2 islands, but that's for later. I went to the end to get the end stone and the chorus flower. On day 383, I started to build a separate ender island, but I ran out of end stone. So I went to the end to get it again, and for the next 2 days, I finished this island. And this is what it looks like. And I decided to decorate my huge island with bamboo to make it look much better, and I think it will look cool. And the next day, I got some more bamboo and built 4 more houses for the villagers. On day 389, I put beds in the new houses. Then I harvested carrots and gave them to the villagers to reproduce and fill the new houses. I spent the next day making some golden carrots for myself. On day 391, I gathered more bamboo because I'm going to build more houses in my village. The next day, the wandering trader spawned and I stole the llamas from him. After that, I tried for a long time to tame the llamas, and finally I succeeded. By the way, I can also reproduce these llamas, and they have a little llama. It's wonderful. On day 393, I built a pen for the llamas, then I threw these llamas into the enclosure. From day 394 to day 397, I built 4 more houses for the villagers. On day 398, I lost a mini llama for some reason, so I bred the llamas again. I also gave the mini llama a name tag so it would not disappear again. On day 399, I decided to build another house for the villagers because they need a place to live, and this is what it looks like. The next day, I built a fishing auto farm, and I sat there all day trying to figure out what we could catch. And I caught some fish and some rotten meat, and that's all I caught. Day 401, and I want to build an island for animals. But first, I have to get some bamboo. The next day, I made an outline of the island, dividing it into 4 equal parts. On the 403rd day, I raised this outline 1 level and added dirt. On day 405, I added a fence to the island so that no animals could escape. Then I lit this island so mobs wouldn't spawn here. And since I did everything I could on this island, I go to other biomes to find animals to bring to my island. Technically, I broke the rules about not leaving the island, but that rule was only for the first 100 days, so let's go find some animals to bring back to our island. Ooh, biggies. Well, let's put one on the boat and the other on a leg, and off we go. And here we have our first mobs. I gave them name tags so they wouldn't get lost. Then I went looking for more mobs. Here I see the cows that I also need. Then I'll take them the same way I took the pigs. And now the cows are also in the pen. And the next day I brought sheep. On the 410th day I took 2 wolves. Now I have restored the animal population on my island. And next to this island I want to build another island, but now it will have an aquarium. Okay, now I need to get a lot of sand. And now I have to melt all this sand. It took me the whole 414 days to melt the glass. But I have enough glass to make this aquarium. But I still need to get some dirt for the tank. It must be here somewhere. Here it is. Now let's decorate the bottom of this aquarium. I also need some kelp to have some kind of seaweed here. Now we put this kelp in and it needs to grow. And by growing it here, I can quickly fill this tank with water. Finally, I filled this tank completely with water. After that, I spent the whole day trading with the villagers to buy name tags. Okay, and somewhere here, and here we have this tropical fish. Let's catch it. I got 4 of them, which I threw into the fish tank right away. Oh, and this is a puffer fish. Let's put that in the aquarium too. There's a tropical fish, and here is the puffer fish that just destroyed half of my health. 4 more fish have been added to the aquarium. And here is a shipwreck. By the way, it even has 2 smithing templates. And here we have a treasure map. Let's see where the treasures are. Because I can get the heart of the sea. And this treasure is somewhere right next to me. Is there really a heart of the sea here? I can make an underwater beacon with it. I have added the last 4 fish. Now let's add some kelp to this tank. On day 425, I added water to the mob farm to turn zombies into drow and started farming them because I needed 8 nautilus shells from drowns. The next day, I continued to farm zombies, but I didn't get any shells. On day 427, I tried to catch a shell by fishing, but it didn't help me either. The next day, I went in search of pandas. By the way, I found the pillager's mansion, but I don't need it now. I spent the
429th day looking for a panda. And by the way, I managed to find a small village here. And here is the panda that I must somehow bring to my island. I think he's crying. So let's feed him some bamboo. And it has snot on his face. I'm going to take it to the island right now. And I have to get a name tag and give it to him so he doesn't disappear. The next day, I gave him a name tag. And I took another panda to take to the island. And the next day, since I couldn't find a way out through the water, I started digging a tunnel to the sea. On day 433, I finished digging that tunnel, and I took my panda through that tunnel. In the evening, I arrived at my island, and now I have 2 pandas, and I have to build a separate island for them. The island for these pandas is ready. We already have at least 3 pandas. After this 436th day, I decided to find a new 1.20 biome, which is the cherry biome, and I need to get some trees there to grow on my island. And finally, on day 437, I managed to find this biome. I farmed some cherry leaves to get some saplings, and on day 438, I built my own island with these trees. The next day, I bred new animals on my island, and now it's time for me to deal with the archaeology that was added in 1.20. But first, I have to make a brush. The brush is made, and I flew to look for a sand biome, because it seems that this suspicious sand can only be there. Finally, I found this biome, and here's the pyramid where this new sand should be. Is this it? No, it doesn't seem to be working. This damn stuff. I've already checked all the sand here where this suspicious sand could be. I don't understand it. Guess I need to find another pyramid, because there's nothing here. I don't think this is it. This sand is not like normal sand, and it is used to extract diamonds. Wow. But it looks like there was only one piece of sand like this, so I can go now. And here I see a well that must also have a new kind of sand. And I got a ceramic pottery shard. And even a second one. I wonder what they're for. So until day 452, I searched for various things in this sand, but I never managed to find the sniffer egg. As it turns out, this egg can only be found in underwater archaeology in warm biomes. Okay, I found a coral reef, and there should be some underwater structures here somewhere. And here is the first structure with suspicious sand. And I have wheat. Well, I need a sniffer egg. I have 2 sniffer eggs, and let's put them up. And now I have to wait. By the way, we already have a lot of pandas on Panda Island, and it turns out that I need to find a block of moss to make the eggs grow faster, so I flew off in search of it. And here I see an azalea, under which there must be a moss biome. So I found a lush cave. After that, I got moss in that cave. When I returned to the island, I put the moss under the sniffing eggs. In the evening, I made a separate island to turn into a moss biome. Cracks appeared, and the eggs were hatched. They're so funny with their noses. I have to bring them to the ground to sniff out a new flower. Yeah, and now I think we can finally grow this moss island here. After I finished the moss island, I decided to check where my sniffers were. One of them had disappeared. I spent the entire 456th day looking for the second sniffer, but I couldn't find it. So I tied the other sniffer to the fence so he wouldn't disappear either. I want to build a cool island, so I need to get some quartz. And here it is. I also need some dirt for the new island. And now I can build this island. And on this island, I want to put quartz statues of the villagers. And I also need to put a house there. By the way, I need to get copper because I can make a lightning rod, so I will not be afraid of lightning and thunderstorms. Okay, and about 10 pieces will be enough for me, and it's better to put them somewhere away from the tree. The next day, I went in search of an amethyst cave. On the 466th day, I found a huge cave, but I didn't find any amethyst. And the next day, I managed to find the amethyst cave, in which I got the amethyst. And with this amethyst, I made a spyglass. And now I want to build a drowned farm, which will require about 6,000 bricks. And with the help of this farm, I hope to find these 8 shells to make an underwater beacon. So I spent day 468 gathering resources. I continued to collect resources until day 471, when I started to build the farm itself. From day 472 to day 478, I built the farm. And the next day, I filled the farm with water so that the drowned could begin to spawn. But after waiting for quite a while, no drowned spawned. On day 481, I tried to rebuild the farm, but no drowned appeared, and I spent 6,000 building blocks. So I spent the next 4 days mining for netherrack in Nether. On day 486, I started to build a new drowning farm, but this time over a river biome. This is where the drowned should spawn. And while I'm building, you can subscribe to my channel and like this video because I'm building so many things. Yay, finally! Drowned spawn on this farm. Well, let's go farm them, because I need shells and a trident. And now I have 8 clams and 1 trident. Now I need to find an underwater dungeon for this underwater beacon. And here it is. I need to get aquamarine blocks from it, which I got by killing dungeon mobs. On day 495, I built this underwater beacon, and with the help of this beacon, I will finally be able to breathe underwater. After that, I enchanted a trident, and my first enchanted trident came back to me after I threw it. It's a cool trident, but I want to enchant another one. And with the other trident, I can fly out of the water. It's so cool. After that, I decided to move back to my mansion. So I started moving my stuff over there. It took me a few days, but the mansion looks great now. And where my things used to be, I made something like a dance floor, which I didn't have enough wool for. On the 499th day, I decided to see what my sniffer was up to, and it was, first of all, very big. And second, it gave me the seed of a new flower. I immediately planted and grew this flower, and now what can I do with it? The seeds do not fall out at all when I pluck it. I'm still in a shocked state at the size of this beast, but it doesn't want to eat this flower either. Okay, then we have to find a camel, and this camel has to be somewhere near the village, and here I see it. But as it turns out, it's not sitting in the boat, so I tried to put it in the minecart, and it worked. That means I have to take it through the underwater. The next day, I dug a huge tunnel in the nether for 1,000 blocks. Then I added tracks to it. Then I threw the camel into the nether. But in the nether, it started taking damage because this mob turned out to be 3 blocks high. So I quickly went to extend the tunnel. But when I got back, the camel was gone. That's how my 500 days on an island went. During that time, I built this huge mansion. Just look at the number of farms here, and the huge village, and the new island that I built with my own hands, and the auto farms, and the aquarium, and the different biomes. I also have a huge number of animals on this island. And I would like to thank you for watching, and the patrons for their support, which you can see on the screen. On my Patreon, you'll find a map of this world to try and survive on deserted islands like me, and some schematics from my videos. Bye-bye.